Growing up as a little girl, I was always a little bit chunkier than the rest of the kids my age. I can remember a majority of my childhood being teased and bullied, and me coming home to my mom and her telling me, "Jamie, you're not fat. It's just a little baby fat. You're going to grow out of it eventually." Well, I'm not sure whether it was baby fat or not, but I can tell you what I was eating was not helping. I can distinctly remember eating cookie dough out of the tub, peanut butter directly out of the jar by the spoonful, and sugar on top. And of course, my favorite, the Happy Meal. So you're probably looking at me and wondering, well, you're not overweight now, so maybe you did grow out of it. Well, I had to learn at an early age, 11, that I was sick and tired of being made fun of, and I took it in matters in my own hands. But being 11, I obviously lacked the understanding of healthy eating, and I started crash dieting and fad diets. And they lacked the basic nutrition needed for a growing child. So if my mom had probably recognized early on that this may be a problem, she could have taught me that healthy way to take control of my weight. Many parents raise their overweight children with the same assumption, that it's just baby fat and they'll grow out of it eventually. Well, if it's just baby fat, then why are 30% of the United States children ages 6 to 19 years old at risk for being overweight or overweight? Do they grow out of it, or do they just grow into unhealthy lifestyles? The Center for Disease Control stated that 9 million kids are at risk or overweight. 9 million. That's 3 times the amount since 1980. So, how do parents know their child's overweight? Well, you would go by the BMI scale, which is body mass index. The way to calculate your child's BMI is to take their weight, divide by their height in inches squared, and multiply by 703. You would then take that calculation and plot it on a growth chart. I have 2 growth charts here for girls and boys. It's going to be based on their age, their height and weight for their age. So, the 4 different categories for BMI would be underweight. That means your child's BMI is under the 5th percentile for their age. The next would be healthy, and that ranges anywhere between the 5th to the 85th percentile. An at-risk child's BMI is above the 85th percentile, but below the 95th percentile. And an overweight child is above the 95th percentile. You probably want to know, well, what does percentile mean? Well, it means is, let's say you have an overweight child whose percentile is the 95th percentile. That means out of 100 children, your child is heavier than 95 of those children. So if your child is above 85%, it's important to go see your doctor for analysis. Although BMI is not always accurate, due to the fact that your child just may have more of a muscular composition, it's important to go see the doctor anyway. They can check their eating habits and activities and offer suggestions if they feel necessary. There was a study done. It stated that if children reached the 85th percentile at least once in their life, they were that much more likely to become overweight by age 12 than children who had never been that heavy. So it's important to determine early whether it's a problem or not. So now you realize this is a problem, but you're asking yourself, well, why is this happening? Well, genetics for one, although they play an extremely small part because the genes aren't changing, but the rate at which children are becoming overweight is changing.